Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to Channel Codex. This is your host Afzal, and today I'm going to talk. Oh, wait. Today we have someone else in our channel to talk about the things which you have been asking so far. Your questions is going to be answered in today's video. Make sure to watch full video, and we're gonna start right after this intro. Hello guys, how are you doing? So today we have Mr. Bharat from Coder Monk channel who is going to answer most of your questions related to job opportunities, related to Flutter thing and all those questions you have been asking so far. So welcome Mr. Bharat, how are you doing today?
Hey, how's it going? I'm fine.
Perfect. So like we'll be doing some question and answer session basically. I have a lot of questions from my audience. So I just listed it down and randomly I'll be asking you those questions.
Definitely.
So I hope this will be a great session for my audience and for me as well.
Yeah, that's sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's not waste any time and hit the point. And I wanted to ask you a question. The first question, which I just get bombarded with this question. People are asking. They're watching a lot of YouTube videos regarding Flutter, and still they find themselves in the beginner loophole. Like they, when they watch the video, they enjoy it, and when they start, they still feel that widgets are different and widgets are like it's very hard to remember. So, what's your suggestion? Like how to come out of that beginner loophole and create some application for real-time application. So what's your suggestion on that?
That's one of the questions that I also get very frequently in my channel. The question is regarding how
Yeah,
do you get out of the tutorial hell? Like you watch a lot of
exactly.
tutorials and you're not sure what to do after that. Well, one suggestion that I give for everybody who's asking me that is to start applying your tutorial knowledge somewhere. Like you cannot expect to just go through all the tutorials and not use it anywhere. Let's say that you learned about a text field widget today and you're learning about button widget tomorrow. Where do you apply
Mm-hmm.
it? And that's where you should be starting to look for. And once you start applying it somewhere, you start to create an application, and the application knowledge is going to just grow from there. And you'll obviously get out
Exactly.
of the tutorial hell at some point. It is, you cannot
Mm-hmm.
expect it to just get out immediately, but it's obviously going to come out, and you will start
Mm-hmm.
applying your knowledge. And with respect to remembering
Perfect.
these widgets, I would
Mm-hmm.
actually suggest everybody to just not put in yourself to just mug up all these ideas or mug up all these classes. Just depend on
Okay.
Google. Just depend on your the code bases, the code docs that are available, and just apply and go through that. And that's the best way to do. That's what I used to do, and that's how I got out of the
Mm-hmm.
tutorial hell. And I would actually suggest the same for
Exactly.
everybody out there.
Great, great. So yeah, basically this is the idea. Whatever you learn, you have to implement it yourself, and then only you can say, or then only you will remember. For like, even if it's about remembering the widget, seeing something will not, you will not remember for long. So you
Exactly.
have to apply it somewhere, so so that you know the concept, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Good. So now, say for example, the people they tried this Funda, they learned something. So now they have enough knowledge of Flutter, like they can create some prototype, they can create some application. So how to encash that? Like how to get jobs or how to get project in Fiverr.com or something like that? Like, what's your suggestion on that?
Okay, so this is one more thing which I frequently talk about, and it's about
Mm-hmm.
having that ability to create a portfolio of projects.
Okay.
Everybody who's getting out of the tutorial hell or tutorial, the basic stuff, they have to go ahead and
Yeah.
start building projects that people will recognize. For example, we were talking
Exactly.
about what you were working on, like your recent projects that you're going to be working on, and how do you build those projects from there? How do you start working on that, and how do you build projects from there? You got to have a
Okay.
minimum of 5 to 10 projects in your bank. Anybody who's going to ask you like, show me the projects that you have done so far, and
Mm-hmm.
you should be in a position to be able to give out these projects. They needn't be always the top projects out there. They needn't be a production quality project, but they should still be somewhat applicable. They should still be somewhat appealing to the people who are going to see it. So that's how you,
Exactly.
specific to Flutter, since it's a UI toolkit, you got to be in a
Yeah.
position to have a little bit of a UI oriented projects in your bank. And if you do that, it's
Okay.
obviously easy to build a portfolio from there. And once you build a portfolio, be it a job or be it the ability to freelance, it's obviously going to be a piece of cake from there, because people have something to depend on. The clients, if you ask me, will be able to see through your projects, and they'll also be in a position to see, okay, this is what I'm going to be getting if I pay money for this person.
Exactly.
So that's pretty much how I would suggest people to go. and it's not easy. It's not easy as we say, as we think it is. You got to be able to spend some time outside your day job if you have any, and also spend some time throughout the day and build these portfolio, and that's going to be definitely be a big help.
Nice suggestion though.
Yeah.
So exactly, the funda is you have to create a showcase of your work you have done so that you can convince someone that this is my ability and I can do this for you, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. So like if you talk about freelancing and stuff, as we discussed, so I have seen a lot of people like they started learning Flutter and they came to a situation that they can do a Flutter project. So what they do, they start putting on Fiverr $5 for per page or $100 for entire project. So like they are rating themselves very low on this budget, like, and it's impacting the market as well. So what's your thought on that? Like if someone learns Flutter, so should they really be putting this price for project or page, or should they be charging more? And what do you think about that?
So my suggestion or my experience so far with both Fiverr as well as the other platforms like freelancer.com has not been that great, because primarily I have had some clients through Fiverr, but not as much as I have had in my client profile right now. The entire thing that I have followed right from my beginning days is to always have a one-to-one relationship with the client, and it's always through word of mouth. I have not depended on a lot of portfolios and a lot of other profiles out there. It's just word of mouth. I do some work for a client and he just goes and tells it to somebody else, and they contact me, and that's how it's been going so far. So for specific to Fiverr, what I have experienced, I cannot talk about the people who are making millions of dollars on Fiverr, but just the experience that I've had with Fiverr is that yes, that's definitely true. I do see a lot of Flutter enthusiasts. I would call them enthusiasts because yeah, they're not that experienced, but what they're doing is they're just crashing the market. They're just crashing the market with $100 applications and maybe less than that, $50 applications. And what it does create is that it creates a bad impression with the clients it's themselves. And what I would suggest for these people is to start working on projects. Again, the portfolio is going to be the biggest thing that you can showcase. And if you have a 10 application portfolio and you have done this 10 application portfolio, and you do have a good amount of people, a good amount of clients, then you go for Fiverr rather than just depending on Fiverr initially and then bombarding the market with just low cost application, which would eventually turn up with low quality. Again, you cannot expect a $50 application to look just how you expect $1,000 application. So yeah, beginners should take a slow step rather than just go and start thinking about making so much money initially. That's my suggestion at this point of time.
Okay, perfect. So, like, I wanted to ask some personal question here.
Yeah.
I came to know that you're working in Amazon. So,
Yeah.
I would like to ask you your opinion and your expertise, like how you get into Amazon, how you created your CV, resume, and how you approach, like, what was your step to get into that company, like a company like that?
Okay, so my experience with Amazon, before Amazon, I was interning with Amazon. So it wasn't the direct
Okay.
opportunity that I got into Amazon. I was an intern with Amazon for 9 months, and my intern got converted to a full-time job. I have a video in my channel talking about the entire experience and how did it get started and everything. But the brief stuff that I wanted to discuss is that the initial CV portion was, again, I believe in the concept of portfolios. I had about 7 projects that I had done at that point of time. I also had been freelancing before that. So it was just a low cost freelancing. I wouldn't say I had a big company. I was making millions of dollars. It was just a low cost client. I would have like a very less number of clients, but I was doing website building, app development for them. And yeah, I had that kind of experience before before interning with Amazon, and also was building stuff in the side, like a project. There was one project with respect to ICs and electronics, and there are other stuff with respect to cloud computing. I had all these projects in my GitHub profile, and I used that in my resume. The entire application process, the entire resume process, and also the entire interview process was little bit tougher than I thought imagined it to be. The Amazon has very high standard, obviously, and yeah, they had lot of different rounds. I had to go through 7 rounds to come finish my intern. First of all, they narrowed it down from 2,200 people to 6 people at the end of the day, and I was one of the 6. So the entire process was a little bit difficult, but again, the portfolio helped me. And my basics with respect to data structures and algorithms, I had done some work before that, little bit of hacker rank work and all lead code work. So all of those things helped me on the day of the interview. And that's been the flow so far. Intern first and then converted to a full time. So yeah.
Exactly. I totally agree to this point then that if you show interviewers something you have, the skill you have, and if you can convince them with the proof of like you have whatever you have done so far instead of just writing on the paper, it really impacts. Like I'll share also one of my because we're talking about interview session and all.
Yeah.
So I remember one of my companies. So I was giving interview for Xamarin, and Xamarin was fairly new at that time, like in 2014.
Okay.
So the interviewer, he asked me like, what's your skill set and all those. So I just said, okay, I've been doing Xamarin only like for 3 or 4 months, and I have did only self study. Like I don't have any prior knowledge because the platform itself is very new. But what I did, I showed one application that I made. It was very simple. It was just fetching list of books, and if you click on that, it was showing the detail of that. So
Okay.
he got impressed with this idea, like showing something in real time, like showing GitHub pages with application real time. It really convinces the interviewer. So that I really agree like on that point.
Yeah.
So that would be like in mentioning all these Git links and all these project portfolios in your CV will really help you.
Definitely not
Perfect.
just for the beginners as such. I completely believe that anybody, just not somebody who's has a very low number of experience. Even people with 5 years, 10 years of experience, they believe in the concept of portfolios. They could talk about projects that they have done so far in their company, and why not us? Like that's how the entire portfolio idea got into picture. Yeah, that's definitely how companies are moving towards as well. They stopped being just a paper certificate. Now they're moving towards portfolios. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So now we'll shift our gear towards Flutter and this
Yep.
thing apart from interview. So I've been seeing like a lot of cross-platform tools are there already, and Flutter also introduces another cross-platform tool, and now they are expanding to Windows and all those platforms. So there's a Flutter versus React versus Xamarin versus Python. Something is new. So how do you see this competition? Like which one is the best, and how should we choose one on over the other? Like what's your suggestion? Like which platform we should choose and why we should choose that?
So if I'm going to answer that question, I'm going to be agitating a lot of people. If I say Flutter is not the good one,
Yeah.
Flutter people are going to get agitated. If I say React is not good, React people are going to get agitated. But if
Exactly.
I'm going to be seeing outside the emotion of people outside the just looking at it in terms of the ability to work on a production environment, I would highly rate React Native and React JS at this point equal to Flutter. I'm not saying Flutter
Okay.
is not bad. Flutter is bad, but what my experience has been is that I've done React Native, I've done React JS, I've also worked on Flutter, and also at the same time, if you see my channel, I have a tutorial on Python Kiwi. I'm recently going through another Python related the library at the moment. There are a lot of Python libraries that are available, but my experience so far has been that Flutter has done extremely well in terms of cross-platform. And with respect to desktop and web, I would still not say it's ready. It's still in beta phase, so I'm not going to be commenting on that. But on the same on the same note, the React Native and the React JS combination has worked extremely well for me, and it's also been adapted by a lot of big companies. And when you have a lot of companies and a lot of teams behind it, obviously it's going to be a big number of people who's going to contribute to the projects. So yeah, at this moment, both of them, I would rate both of them equal, but I have slight advantage over a React Native, React JS at the moment because they support much better web over Flutter, Hummingbird projects. So that's my position at the moment.
Exactly. Yeah, perfect. That is bare truth. Like because we have to be, like our audience should know the truth instead of just quoting them with the sugar. So they should know the fact of what is going on. So so like if you talk about Android and iOS, Flutter is an awesome choice, and they have like very good. But in terms of web, I have heard from people that their website takes like scrolling issue is there. If you scroll, it's lagging because it's in beta. So Flutter is giving time in fixing all the issue that they have, and they are like not that much focusing on the web part. So maybe they have plan in 2021 or maybe whenever they will come up. So of course, this is the point but don't get disappointed, Flutter developers. Of course, you have to try out all the features. Like you have to experiment, explore the tool. And I also have one video in my channel where I say don't become a fanboy. Okay, so you should not be in love with any toolkit. Tool is just your toolkit to work. So if something is there, if it's good, use it, utilize it as much as you can, and then if something better comes, you just move on. So because you're working in it, you should not fall in love with that and like in terms of falling in love, what I say that people start abusing other platforms, so that should not happen, because I have seen a lot of people fighting over Flutter is for baby, Flutter is for this one, then someone will say Android is deprecated, it's an old system, who will write all those things. So everything has their own importance.
True.
And that's why, like, you should not be a fanboy of anything. So tools will keep on coming and going, you have to just go with the flow, right?
100%. Yeah, that's true.
Exactly. Okay, so as we discussed about website and it's going to take time and all those things, so what do you think, Flutter, shouldn't they just stick to Android and iOS, and instead of catering to like multiple platforms, Windows and web, which they are currently, as of now, they are not capable, like their website has been failed, like a lot of people has complaining that their production website is slow, the scrolling issue is happening, it's not loading fast. So isn't don't you think that it's a bad move from Google, or like how do you interpret this?
So on that topic, I looked into a lot of videos even before, like Flutter. What is the history behind Flutter? Like, why did they start? The whole idea behind
Okay.
Flutter has been to support the project that Google has. It's a very big project. They want to completely remove or completely replace the entire Android OS with a project called as Fukasia. The Fukasia project has been there for so long. It's been there for more than 9 years, I would say. And they have just been going back and forth with that. The primary reason being that there is a ton of legacy code with respect to Android, and they are not sure what to do with it. I cannot, like, I don't have any access to how the Google team is working on what is the timeline that they have. But the idea behind was that they had to load so many deprecated and so many legacy Android code, and they wanted to completely move from there and create a new OS called Fukasia. So the Fukasia was going to work on almost every platform, mobile, desktop. It was
Yes.
going to work on the Chromebook was completely going to be the flagship product from them. That was the whole idea. So that was the reason why they created Flutter also. But as they started with Flutter, they got a little bit carried away, I would say, because they want to compete.
Yeah.
They want to compete with the bigger market players like React Native and React.js,
Exactly.
and they brought it out. They brought the desktop and they brought the web out as well. But currently, the support is still in beta. That's the worrying part. I was expecting the Hummingbird project to come into production 6 months ago, and they're still putting it in beta, and there is no real roadmap till 2021 on what they're going to do. Yeah, but with respect to the React, with respect to the cross-platform between the Android and iOS, yes, that was their first move. The whole idea was to support Fukashi at some point in the future, and so that's what they're trying to do. That's what I believe they're trying to do. But again, the desktop and web, it's always going to be there. People are always going to say we want better things faster. So it's we just have to wait and see what the entire Google team is doing. Maybe somebody from Google can comment on what exactly they're going to do in this video, probably.
Yeah, exactly. If they are saying this, so this OS, newly OS, which Google is building, they also pronounce it as Fuchsia OS.
Yep.
So somebody say Fuchsia, somebody say Fukasia. So that's the name also they choose. I think it's very difficult.
Yeah.
So Fuchsia also somebody pronounce. So it's an open source OS which is going to work everywhere. Just for the audience who doesn't know. So Flutter is targeting Fuchsia as well. Like they want to target every single platform. So I don't know what is the reason. All right. So I think I have asked whatever I wanted to ask, whatever my audience being asking to me. So I have cleared all the doubts. If you guys have any comment, if you guys have any question, you can write down in the comment section, and maybe you can suggest that whether I should do more videos like this, or like what you want to know about Flutter and all those stuff, other technologies as well. And last question I will ask you, Bharat, is about what's your roadmap regarding your channel Coder Monk, and also I'll be interested to know how you named it Coder Monk. Like you are personally a kind of monk person, or what? Like how you named it?
So the history behind my channel is very interesting. I didn't start the channel; it was just an accident. I started. I'm actually a blogger. I have been writing for more than 3.5 years now. Since I was very interested in Android, I started a website called as Android Monks. I didn't know how the channel name got. I just added a monk at the end, and I got the domain name, and I just started the website. And the website was going pretty slow. It wasn't going as much as I expected it to grow. 9 months in, I wasn't getting that much of traction. So what I did was I thought maybe I should start a channel and maybe do some videos, tutorials and stuff like that. So the initial video channel that I started, the channel name that I had was something with respect to similar to Android Monks. I think I just mocked it as Android Monks, and then I moved it to Programmable 101, Program 101, things like it kept going round and round. And one day, one of the subscriber, I think, suggested, why not keep it as Coder Monk, since it is you're just talking, you're going to be talking broad things, so just keep it as Coder Monk. I don't know the subscribers watching this video, if he does. I've told about this in a couple of live streams. Big thanks, because that name has stuck with a lot of people, and I have been keeping this name for about a year now. So that's been
It's
the
a
history.
unique name.
So the idea was to not just talk about Flutter or Android, but about code in general, like programming in general, and that's why I kept the name.
Right.
And with respect to the roadmap, what I'm planning to do is obviously talk more in terms of delivering content. I am also very interested in going outside my comfort zone. At the moment, I'm actually preparing for a series of videos on machine learning and artificial intelligence and computer vision in particular. So that's what I'm going to be concentrating on in the next 6 months. And my channel is going to be filled with content around that. And that's what pretty much I'm actually working on at the moment.
Perfect. So guys, I will put link in the description for Coder Monk. You can go ahead and subscribe him. He's a really nice YouTuber, and I have seen a lot of video. Basically, I like 2 months back also I have seen one of his video where he talk about all this freelancing, how to earn money with Flutter, and technical stuff also. He has a lot of video on that. So make sure to subscribe him and give it a like on his videos. Thank you so much, Bharat, for joining in.
It's made me a pleasure being in this channel, Afzal. Thanks so much, guys. Definitely like this video and subscribe to Codex as well as Coder Monk, and maybe I'll meet everybody in another video.
And yes, that's all about today's video. So if you have any question, you can write down in the comment section, suggest me whether should I do all more videos like this or not. And that's all. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.